If you are tired of writing the repetitive code, the manual mapping between the application layer, which is kind of error prone, time consuming, then you are in the right video. So in this video, we are going to discuss about what is MapStruct, how the MapStruct helps solve the automatic mapping between the fields and between the layers. We will also look into how MapStruct will be fitted into the between the application layer, how it is going to solve the problem which POJO, DTO and entities are having with respect to the applications layer. Let us discuss about the POJO, the most basic type of Java object. Now it is going to be a very simple class that is going to contain the fields, that is the data, the methods to access this and modify those particular fields, which are getters and setters. When it comes to the characteristic, POJO has not business logics. It has got no framework dependencies, that is going to be annotations, and then there is no external dependencies other than the Java libraries. Now its whole purpose is to store the data. This all things is going to be look like as a blueprint for a data structure. Now you can consider an example, a cart summary class that stores the total items, the total price, which is going to do for the internal calculation, that is not meant for database persist, nor it is for direct client interaction. Now let us discuss about the entity, a special type of a POJO that is going to represent a table in the relational database. Now typically the annotations which are ORM, object-oriented relational mapping annotations like entity, table, ID, column, all these are mapped to the fields directly to the database column. Now when it comes to the characteristic, they are tightly coupled to the database schema. They contains ORM annotations for persistence. Often that is going to include the relationship to the other entities like one to many or many to one. Now the main purpose is to facilitate the interaction between the application and the database. Let's say you're trying to save something, retrieve something, or update some records. Let's take an example of user entity class that is going to map directly to the user table in your database, that is going to contain fields like ID, name, email, password and role. Now let's discuss about the DTO, the data transfer object. This is going to be a specially designed transferring data object which is going to be between the different layers of the application, or it can be between the application and the client. Let's say you have a front end and the back end, it is going to be in the middle of that. Now it is typically going to contain only the data relevant for a specific transfer, that is going to hide the internal implementation details. Now coming it to characteristic, it is going to be the subset or a combination of data from one or more entities. It has got no business logic. Often it is be used in the API layer controller for request input and a response as an output. It is also decoupling the client from internal database schema or an entity structure. When it comes to the purpose, it is going to expose only the necessary data to the client, which is going to prevent the sensitive information, the leakage, and provide a stable contract for the API, even if you are using the internal entity structure which has got some changes. Now let's look at an example, a user DTO class that contains ID, name, email, but not the password. So which would be hashed up or a role, which is going to be the internal security detail from which the user entity is derived. Now let's understand the problem of manual mapping. Now that we understand what each of this particular DTO, entity and POJO is, let us look at the challenges that it is to happen, especially when you are moving the data between the different data objects. Now let's say you're taking the scenario of DTO to entity, that is going to be the request coming from the client. So when a client sends a user DTO to the create a new user, you need to convert that DTO to the entity in order to save it to the database. So this was one of the manual process we used to do. Second, on the reverse part, again from the entity to the DTO, which is part of the response part, where you used to fetch that user entity from the database, you need to convert it to the DTO back and then send it to the client. So that was the manual process. Now traditionally the developer used to write the mapping code manually. Now he used to write the user entity and then he used to convert that particular entity from DTO to entity by manually mapping those each field by field. Now when it comes to the response part, he used to convert back that particular entity to the DTO so that he can send it to the client. Now this was kind of a manual mapping, which was going to lead to a boiler. So there was lot of repetitive code which you used to set up. Then there used to be an error prone, so you used to easily forget the fields or the typo in that particular thing. Then it was very hard to maintain. So if the field name changes, then the new field is added, so you have to update the multiple mapping methods. So this was quite cumbersome. Now let us look how MapStruct is going to fit into this and how it is going to solve the problem. Now MapStruct is nothing but a code generator that is going to simplify the implementation of mapping between these Java bean types. Now it is going to generate the highly performant, type safe and the dependency free mapper at a compile time. Now how it is going to solve the problem is, instead of writing the manual mapping code, it is going to define an interface which is going to be having the mapping methods, and the MapStruct is automatically going to generate the implementation during the build process. So this is how it is going to internally work when it comes to the MapStruct. Now let us look at the real world examples when it comes to the MapStruct usage. Now let's say an example of an controller service where we are designing a simplified API layer. The problem here is that the user entity has got some sensitive information, like it has got password, role, creation date, and the login pass detail. This should never be exposed to the client which is calling it. Now the user data should always contain the ID, first name, last name, and email. Now the solution what MapStruct does is that it is going to define a mapper that is going to convert the user entity to the DTO. Now MapStruct is going to automatically convert or map those particular fields names, and you can explicitly ignore some of the fields which are different or which is not mapped up. So in that case you can use @mapping annotation over there. So this is going to ensure that only data which is going to leave is to your backend is only the one which you are intended. Now if you take a look at this, if you see here user entity, there has got lot of fields over here, but if you see in the DTO you got only this two. Now when you're trying to have this particular mapper annotation defined in the interface, you will see that you're defining this mapper.get the mapper over here, and then it is going to convert to that particular specifically. So it will ignore all the fields which are not required automatically in that case, and then it is going to convert from the user detail to detail for updating those particular details. So you can handle the password hashing at the service layer itself. Now at the controller level you are just calling this particular user DTO and then you are trying to map it. That's it, what you have to do. Now when it comes to handling the data structure, okay, so for the internal business logic, so the problem is, let's say you have a product entity and then you are having that is going to be from the database, and you have a DTO that is cart items that is going to be at the client side. Now for business calculation you need to have to create the DTO or the POJO over there that is going to have the combination of this thing. So it will have both the information, but it is doesn't going to be the database or the direct client response over there. Now MapStruct is going to create this particular product entity, also the DTO, which is going to map it using into the that POJO summary details. So now if you take a look at this, it is going to convert it over here and it's going to only require those particular details, and then it is going to define those. So now this is how you can define this particular mapper with this particular annotation, and then you can define this particular exact mapping over here which is going to be your mapping. So if you wanted to map to the target fields, you can define those one by one. Let's say you have some different namings convention over there, then in that case you can mark it like this over here. So this is how you define those and then map it at the mapper level. Then at the service level it is as usual where you do that, converting that particular using the product summary method. In that you can convert it. So that is how you can do that. Now the API versioning, when it comes to you, let's say you have version 1 and version 2 of that particular API. Now the V1 is going to return the first name and the last name, but the V2, the version, is going to return only the full name over here. Now the user entity is going to store the first name and the last name over here. Now for this particular is very ideal for this particular MapStruct, where you are going to create a separate DTO for each of these particular versions, that is version 1 and the version 2, and then you are going to maintain a separate mapper for each of these particular methods. We are going to define the same mapper over here to handle the transformation. So MapStruct can easily combine or split this particular field as per the requirement over here. Now you look at this first name, then the DTO version. If you see the version 1 and the version 2, but here if you see the mapper over, like, based on that you can convert it and use it. So this is how you can call it and use it over here. Now which one we should be using at when one? So it is not about, like, when should be using, it is about where and when you should be using. Okay, so it has to be in a well articulated way. So entities are used only when your repository layer or the service layer is going to interact with the database directly. So keep them private to your persistent layer or the concerns over there. Now DTO, when you are using it, it is going to be in the API controller level. So that is going to send the data and receive the data from the client. Now they are going to define contract at the API level. Now when it comes to POJO, it is going to be used elsewhere or everywhere within the service, that is going to have some business logic, some calculation to be done, or some temporary data structure. So you don't have to directly map it to the database or to the direct API client. So this has to be something in the middle of that. Now MapStruct is going to be a place where it is going to automatically convert between this particular DTO entities and POJOs across your application layers. So this is going to be in between every layer, and it is going to be an helper between this particular layer. So it is going to drastically reduce your effort of manually writing the boilerplate code. It is going to improve your maintainability, and also it is going to ensure that is a very type safety code written over there. Now this is quite important. I hope I was able to explain you this MapStruct in a clear with a lot of examples and in details. If this video was helpful, please share it with the needy people. Also don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.